Hey everyone, welcome to week 5. I wanted to go over some of the details with you. This week you'll be reading more about relational theory, which was touched on last week as well. Relational theory really emphasizes the collaborative approach to treatment, so I'm hoping this can give you a better understanding of the use of self within the therapy process and how countertransference can at times be used as a tool. You have chapter 5 and chapter 6 of the Goldstein book this week. Chapter 5 will take you through aspects of an assessment through relational theory. You'll find this to be useful information for your practice. For instance, how understanding a client's relationship history and how they interact with others can provide a great deal of insight into how they function. This is something that is definitely going to be an important part of your initial appointment or assessment for a client, something that you don't want to skip because our life is all about relationships, and this can really give you some understanding of how they function, like I had said, and can really inform the way that you might practice treatment with them so that you can really gear the treatment approach to their functioning level. Um, you also have a choice of any of these two articles this week, as well as the video that focuses on emotionally focused therapy. It's a short video, just about, I guess it says right here, 8 minutes. Um, The articles can provide you with a good understanding of treatment for various different populations. As you see, you're going to be looking at, potentially based on what you choose, homeless youth. You're going to potentially be looking at using emotionally focused treatment for social anxiety. It just kind of gives you kind of a more practical understanding. The articles give you a little bit more of a practical understanding of treatment, whereas the chapters in the book are going maybe a little bit more focused on just understanding the theory itself. Um, and also the articles and the video will likely be helpful for you in this week's discussion post. So moving on to the discussion, you'll be working within a group of 3 or 4. Each of you are assigned to either the role of clinician or judge, which is listed in this announcement along with your group assignments. You can also click on people and then groups, and the groups are labeled week 5 groups. So there's 2 different places that they'll be listed. You will each only have 1 post due this week, which is different than previous weeks, but all of you will be reading and reviewing the case here, which is the basis for the discussion this week. If you were assigned to the clinician role, you will need to post a plan for treatment regarding the case. Within the post, you'll need to review the case and identify theories and interventions reviewed in this class and relate them to the case. You'll find that there are probably multiple theories that might be able to inform your treatment for this case, including attachment theory, neurobiology, object relations, and relational theory, which you're learning about this week. For the purpose of this post, you will only be identifying 1 theory. You will then be identifying interventions that might be used in the case. The intervention should be informed by the theory that you chose to relate the case to. And then you can also include interventions that you may have learned in other courses, just kind of to supplement treatment, such as CBT and DBT. You'll then need to also describe some specific skills to carry out the interventions, and just to give you an understanding of this differentiation between intervention and skills, look at it in terms of a treatment plan. For instance, the intervention would be the overall idea of what you're trying to do, and then the skills will be the specific things that you do to carry it out. And then from there, you're going to actually outline the first few sessions. So you could do a couple of different things here. You can either create a hypothetical situation as if you're talking about it past tense, as if the 3 sessions had already happened, or you can just document what you might expect from those 3 sessions. But definitely be sure to include examples of how you would carry out the interventions in this section. So for instance, you don't want to just list, you know, document like kind of a conversation between you and the client, but you would want to reference how those interventions that you described previously in the post are being used throughout the session. And if you're the clinician, your post will be due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. So moving on to the judge role. If you were assigned to the judge role, you will need to read all of the group members who were clinicians, all of their posts. So if you're in a group of 3 or 4, that would mean that you are probably reading at least 2 posts, probably 3. And then you're going to identify which group members' plans seem to make the most sense. This is not going to be solely based on opinion, but you'll also need to make sure that you reference course material to support the decision. And you can either create a separate post or post in response to one of the group members. Either is fine. And if you're assigned to the judge role, your post will be due on Sunday at 11:59. So I get that this week is much different. So as usual, reach out with any questions. I would rather you ask versus, you know, assume something and put the work in and it's not, you know, what we're actually looking for. Also keep in mind that the theoretical concepts paper is due week 6. It could be good to start thinking about this now. I know that you're all wrapping up your developmental assessment papers at this point. And I will be posting a video specific to the paper soon. But I hope everyone enjoys the material this week, and I hope you have a great week.